So Meagan just came back from Disney World, and she did a bunch of new stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, you just got back from Disney.
Yes.
Solo trip?
Yes.
So,
it was my first truly solo trip that was longer than one night. I had actually been there one night by myself a few months ago, and just because of the timing and everything, it worked out. I knew I have wanted to go back like truly solo for quite a while, and I finally got to do it. And it was a 3-night trip, and it was honestly the perfect amount of time to do that.
So can do Disney solo.
Oh yeah.
I'm almost tempted to ask you if you liked it better solo or with other people, but I don't know if I want to go there.
No, I mean we can go there. I feel like I feel like they're not on the same playing field to go either by myself or with people, just because it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
I liked both of them. I liked going on the trip in both ways differently.
Yeah.
So it was
it's like an apple and an orange.
Yeah.
They're very different experiences. Yeah. And yes, there's times you like solo and there's times you like being with other people. And so, that's a good way to put it. They're different.
Yeah.
So
it was so fun.
So, did people look at you weird because you were by yourself?
No, actually, I was kind of just self-conscious of that at first, but I realized how many people I watch on other channels that go to Disney by themselves, and it just felt more normal having known that. So if anyone was looking at me, I wasn't paying attention.
So wait, the cast members didn't look at you like you were some sort of strange mutant being by yourself?
No, actually, the only time cast members were looking at me was to tell me happy birthday, because I ate up the birthday attention. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't. I had my birthday button. It was my birthday trip to myself, from myself, and I loved every single happy birthday wish from everybody.
So I like to go into all that simply because I get asked all the time, isn't it weird to go by yourself? Don't they treat you strange? No.
The only thing, I wasn't so much concerned about being seen being alone. I feel like Disney is one of the safest places to go by yourself, genuinely. But the thing that I had to adjust to, probably the biggest adjustment of my whole trip, was being out in the open talking to a camera.
Yeah.
Because on our group trips and everything, it's easy to all just pull over and chat together to the camera, because it more or less looks like we're talking amongst ourselves and everything. But that was a really big adjustment. And the first time that I went out with my camera, it was already getting dark, so I feel like it kind of eased me into it a little bit, with people not being able to see me as much because it was getting dark. I was just thinking of little things like that.
It is definitely different when you're having to remember to use the camera and vlog. It changes the whole feeling of the trip.
Yeah.
Now, see, when you get somebody else in the group who's doing it, you can kind of half ignore it a lot of times. But when you're doing it, it changes. It's still fun, but it becomes work. It
did, and I was worried that I would be too worried about picking up the camera instead of taking in my trip, but I didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I found a good balance pretty quickly, also because of memory card space. We'll talk about that in just a second.
Yeah.
But I found a good balance, I feel like, of picking up the camera as part of my trip, but also not too much. Like when I was sitting and watching Fantasmic, I recorded a little bit of the intro, but it didn't take me out of my Fantasmic experience.
Right. Yeah.
I was proud of myself for that. I was happy for myself.
and so much of it's just getting used to remembering the camera and then talking to it. And it's definitely something that you have to work on a little bit.
Yeah.
But when people say, oh man, you could play at the parks all the time. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not resting and relaxing. I've got stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of resting and relaxing, being completely by myself, I had to actively remind myself to go to a sit-down attraction like PhilharMagic or Muppet Vision. I wanted to do both of those things, but I really had to remind myself, your feet need a break. I feel like my feet didn't touch the ground during my 4 parks one day. I was just going, not thinking about it until it was too late, but because it was so fun.
Did you keep track of your steps?
Yes.
Okay.
I have that right here.
So I'm curious because I know before I started doing the scooter thing because my breathing junk doesn't let me do it like I used to.
Yeah.
I know what my steps are. A typical average day for me, not at the parks, would have been about 11,000, 12,000 steps.
Yeah, yeah.
At the parks, so what numbers did you put up?
Okay, so I got there on Friday, January 24th. I was on property, like, hanging out by 2-ish. And then I hung around. I stayed at All-Star Music mostly for the first time. I had been there, but not had a chance to really take it in.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed and hung around All-Star Music, saw what there is to see, and then I went to Hollywood Studios in the evening. That day, I clocked 17,601 steps.
And that's barely going in the park.
I know. And then the next day was my 4 parks one day. Do you want to guess?
37,000.
Close. Actually, it was 27,167.
Oh, okay. So my Epcot days, I would do 35 to 37.
Oh, yeah. I think
yeah.
I've gotten 28 in Epcot before.
Yep.
I successfully did 4 parks one day, but I got started a little later than not that I thought, but I knew I was going to have a big day that day, so I slept in.
Yeah.
By meaning I was up at 8:30 instead of, rope dropping Animal Kingdom.
So 27, that would have been my typical average Disney walking day was between 21 and 26.
Okay, so then I pretty much hit the mark for the next day when I did the 5-hour Keys to the Kingdom. So very much on your feet. It's not like difficult terrain walking, but it's
just
5 hours of walking. And then I spent the rest of the day in Magic Kingdom, which was open till 11 p.m. So even without, I did pretty good at not zigzagging. Even then, I still got 25,440 steps. And then the day that I left, did not go to plan for multiple reasons. I did end up still with 11,486.
So if you're going to go to Disney, prepare to walk.
Yes.
Have good walking shoes. Don't do high heels.
No.
Always shook my head when I see people walk in the park dressed to the nine and ladies in heels. You're going to die.
The fit is not worth it. Okay.
You are going. I know you're trying to look sharp, ladies, but it don't look sharp when you got a broken ankle.
No. I feel like that's important to mention that, don't go in with, freshly, not quite broken in brand new shoes, but also not shoes that are on their last leg.
Yep.
I feel like my shoes were, 3/4 of the way battery life on when I got there, and actually I still wore them today. Those shoes are retiring after this trip. I broke in another pair earlier this week, but it's raining and I'm too protective of them at this point. So
okay, so let's break down your trip.
Yes,
because you got a whole bunch of stuff you did that was new.
Yeah,
to you at least.
Sure.
And then of course we want to talk about Keys to the Kingdom.
No, I don't want to give away anything on the tour, but
because we got the vlog too, but there's a lot of the tour you can't record because it's backstage areas.
And I think it's really good that way.
But you can still talk about it some. What's new to you?
Okay. I'm going to try to not look down at my phone too much, but I did make notes because I wanted to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Probably the star of the show. That's literally me. The biggest, newest thing for me that I was excited about was Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and I really liked it. I don't actually like water rides, but I went in with a poncho, and I'm glad that I did, because even though, compared to what I've heard, apparently you don't get as wet on Disney World's version as you do on Disneyland's. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, I did not want to get wet on the water ride that day.
Did you ever do it at Splash Mountain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would say it was the same amount, obviously. It's the same that way, but I really wanted to go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure for the animatronics. Mm-hmm. And they were silky smooth. They looked beautiful. There were so many of them because I feel like Disney was losing touch for a while with the screens instead of physical sets and animatronics, but Tiana's really did that well. And I don't want to spoil it. You can go watch the POV.
Screens with water don't go quite as well. Animatronics can deal with getting a little bit of moisture.
Because some of them are, I guess, literally hydraulic. So
yep.
The animatronics were amazing. There was one particular set that's not the finale that I just think was really done really well. I think it was the second to last room that you're in before the big drop, but it was really, really sweet. So the queue wasn't super interactive, but I definitely think that they made it Tiana's instead of like Splash Mountains. There was a couple cool things to see in the beginning, but I still think there was a couple cool, well, not couple cool things, but the vibe towards the actual loading zone was still very much Splash Mountain if you knew.
Okay.
So I liked that because I did like Splash Mountain.
Love Splash Mountain.
I liked it. I just didn't like the water. And
Okay.
the last thing that I would definitely give a note to this, now this is probably mostly because Big Thunder Mountain is closed for a huge refurb right now. The area that's right by the ride, there's the train station, the gift shop, the restrooms, where you would normally enter for Big Thunder, was chaos.
Oh, I believe it.
There were so many people.
It's a bad choke point.
You couldn't turn around. Just kidding. You had to turn around right there. There were people boarding the train, getting off of the train, trying to get to the ride, trying to go to the restroom, and it was hard to breathe.
I'm kind of waiting to see when they eventually get the Rivers of America filled in. They've got Cars Land sitting in the middle. I don't know if it's going to become a worse choke point or not.
I would hope not.
And part of it's going to depend upon what they do behind it and if they create a loop, because right now it's a dead end.
I would love
and that's part of the reason it's a mess. So yeah, you got to have another exit point,
like a Galaxy's Edge style transition from Grand Avenue.
Yeah,
just figure it out, please.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That was also going into Flawlessly. I did ride the train for the first time in like probably 15 years because we hadn't done it on our last couple group trips.
We hadn't. We just been running.
Yeah, we were running. I basically remembered nothing about it. I liked it. I took it on like a lap and a half because I got on at Main Street and then I got back off at the next lap of Frontierland, which I quickly realized was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because that's when I figured out how crowded it was. I think it's really important this was an unintentional theme of my Magic Kingdom day. It was really important to like recognize that you don't have to be entertained in your face every 5 seconds. Like rides like the train.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, like rides like the train.
I always thought it was more like Nirvana. Here I am now, entertain me.
Oh my gosh. Some people
I can sing that for you, Craig.
No. No, thank you.
Here we are now. Okay, anyways.
But going on the train was a really nice break from that area of Frontierland. And there were like the minimal like Western Native American sets. And it was just really relaxing to like go through all the foliage. And sure, it wasn't themed every 5 seconds, but I just thought it was really relaxing to just sit and take in the views from afar. I'm calling that new to me because it's been changed so much.
Yep.
And I basically didn't remember it. That was fun.
I totally got Nirvana stuck in my head now. Okay. You also did the new Country Bear show.
I did. If you guys remember a couple videos back, was it the one where we were introducing me?
She loved the old Country Bears.
I very much didn't love the old Country Bears. And I was very, very hesitant. I was and wasn't going to see the show for the sake of the video. I was genuinely curious. I was also kind of doing it just so our group chat would know that I did it. Blood on the saddle.
Because we harass her otherwise. Anyways.
And I did. I sat probably in the back 25% rows.
Okay.
Back 25% of the rows. And I was right in the center. And it was really cute. Now, I watched another video right after my trip that called it like another version of PhilharMagic with bears. And I'm like, okay, I don't entirely disagree with that, but I think the folksy, physical show also still sets it apart. And the music was great. The costumes were great, except for Big Al. Big Al still freaks me out. So sorry. But 99%. I would go back. Like, my friend who's never
It was so
seen
fun when we were there on that front row. Big Al's right there.
And then, oh my gosh, I don't remember any of their other names, but the one that was, having a dysfunctional moment and his arm was, like, shaking and seeming like he was staring and...
Oh, good.
No.
So the show is, what, a year and a half old, and they've already got him twitching.
No, from the time that we saw it.
Oh, from when we saw it. Okay.
Yeah, not Big Al, but the guy that was next to him more directly in front of us. I don't remember any of their names. I still don't. He was having an issue. No, these animatronics, they seem real crisp. They seem real renewed. The costuming was great. It was great. And it was also not in a bad way, but it was nice and concise. It didn't go on too long. Maybe it's because also I actually enjoyed this one and it didn't feel like it went on forever. Anyway, so that was a win.
What else is new for you?
What was new to me, you'll see in the videos, I did get attached to it, and now I kind of feel a certain way about it. I went to Tom Sawyer Island for the first time.
You had never been on it?
Never been.
I'm happy you got to see it.
I did too, and I really, really liked it, especially having been there in the same day that I had been amongst the chaos of the Frontierland, Tiana's Bayou Adventure area. It did take a little bit to get on the raft over there, but I guess it was a lot of people who knew it was going to probably be their last time seeing it, and I went and just kind of walked around, enjoyed the ambiance. I kind of checked out the playground area, but it was a playground.
Yep.
I didn't have any kids with me. I did not stick around.
Did you go in the pirate cave?
Yes. I went to like all the cave areas you could.
So how much of the pirate cave do you remember?
I remember, is it the same cave where there's like that diamond mine
That's in
area?
there.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing I remember.
There's one spot where you walk down the straight tunnel, and if you make a turn, it's just this short, quick dead end with a maintenance store there.
Okay. It was really dark, but I was also just kind of taking it in.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you remember that.
I remember the
I'm
journey.
Intimately familiar with that door.
Yes! Okay! That's the one where you...
That's the one where I plowed into it face first running away from my kids.
See, that was crossing my mind. I was like, I feel like one of these George is absolutely, like, dodged into.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a short... The end of the hall, and it's only, like, about that far off of the edge of the hall. And I thought it was more than that. Turn around. Wham!
I was thinking about that, but I didn't remember at what point, because I hadn't been there before, but I went through the caves. I went through the barrel bridge. That was really fun. Got great views of Haunted Mansion over there. Oh my gosh. And I did sit at the tables. The quick service was not open, but they had vending machines.
It hadn't... Goodness, I don't even know the last time it was open.
Because I thought it was open, but I realized people were just walking up to vending machines.
Yeah.
But the table and chairs right there, also super calming. So I went over there, and then just because I hadn't been there before, I felt a little disoriented. I went back over, and I went across the other bridge to, like, the north side, the other bridge. And I met a nice couple who were sitting in the rocking chairs there. That was something else about being there solo. I just, not that I felt like I couldn't. That's not what I'm saying. But I felt like I could just more freely just talk to people. And I did. Oh my gosh, I loved talking to all the people I did. But I just talked to this couple who were doing the same thing. They were just enjoying their day, but also getting away from the chaos.
Yep.
And then I sat, that was that landing area facing Big Thunder, which you could really see into the refurb that was going on. Like, there was a giant like ply board, particle board, whatever. They spray painted the word hole over it, and they put it over a hole.
Look,
in the mountain.
It's a hole.
Because the track was gone. Like, there's a spray painted green hole.
Nice.
So I'm like, this is the stuff that I actually live for.
Tom Sawyer was a great place if you needed a quiet time away from stuff. You know, of course, on the opposite side of the park from Carousel of Progress, which is another one
so good.
like that. Yeah, they forget that you need those quiet spots just to mellow a little bit sometimes.
That was when I realized that I was going out to do a lot of attractions that day, that you don't have to be constantly flashy, entertained in your face the whole time. Sometimes you just want to be there and just be.
Just to, absorb the atmosphere.
And I did text my dad at that point because I was looking down into the river across from Big Thunder Mountain. There was a huge bass in that river. My dad is a big bass fisherman, and so that was always good to know.
By the way, that's not me.
No,
I've had
my dad.
I've had some people comment, well, your daughter Meagan. Nope. No, my daughter's Amber. She's over there.
Hi.
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear her, but she's on the other side of the camera. So.
My dad, not in this location.
Yeah, that kind of, it's like, oh, good. I guess she's part of the family in more ways than that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The next thing that was new to me, I got off of Tom Sawyer, and oh my gosh, this was, I packed my patience for my whole trip, but I really needed it to get off of Tom Sawyer Island. I don't know why it took forever to get off of it. I don't know if it had anything to do with the parade coming through. There was most definitely a shift change during that time too, and they were loading and unloading people at different
So if you were trying to come across as the parade was going, that does mess up the schedule some.
I was trying to leave when the parade was coming through, which was a good way to see the parade from far away.
Yeah, that'd be a mess.
Oh.
That was one of those, I remember hearing stories from the cast members who were in the boats.
It took me 40 minutes to get off Tom Sawyer's Island.
Gee.
And,
Ow.
I was watching the parade part of that time. I did see the dragon. We love her.
As long as she's not setting herself on fire.
And then I did go straight to Tiana's at that point. Oh, I did briefly glaze over Storybook Circus at night. The lights and the vibes were great. I just was not into riding Dumbo at that point in the night. They have the Smell-a-Fence on Parade attraction, and it smelled really good back there. But I just did not have anything to do for me at that point.
The whole Storybook Circus area, you've got the Dumbo ride.
Yeah.
It's such a terrible expression of what it used to be.
I know, like Toontown any day.
Toontown was awesome.
Any day.
When you get to Disneyland, because you're going to Disneyland for the first time.
In 2 weeks.
When you see their Toontown.
Yeah.
And then when you see their back area, Fantasyland, where they've got the Casey Jr. train and the canal boats and stuff.
Canal boats.
Both of those areas put Disney World to shame.
I'm excited.
Absolutely to shame. So
Toontown and Disney World was one of my core memories.
And
for real.
Disneyland's is better.
I'm excited.
It's better. Yeah.
So I stopped by there really briefly. I would have liked to go into the sweet shop, but it had already closed. Mm-hmm. This was really late in my night, so I'm definitely getting back out of order. The only other couple things on my way to Epcot, I was on my way to Epcot, and I saw the Polynesian Tower, and I feel like the opinions are strong about it right now, and that's okay. But I feel like it was really nice looking in person. I don't feel like it's so much generic. It's just a very different style of like Polynesian architecture. I don't actually know what I'm talking about. This is just my observation.
Have you gone resort hopping yet?
I have not too much. I have gone. Short answer is not really.
Okay.
And
that's something that
I actually had plans to, but I just decided to put it off.
You need a day, at least a day.
Yeah.
For us, it could be a couple days.
Yeah.
But yeah, at some point we got to work out having you go resort hopping and checking out everything.
I did have plans to actually like go have like lunch or a drink at the Polynesian on my big Magic Kingdom day, but I just wanted to stay in the park. So the intention was there. It just didn't happen.
Yeah. So really, you've seen Contemporary, you've seen Animal Kingdom Lodge, you've seen a couple of the expensives, but haven't gotten you into the Poly and Grand Floridian and
no, I've been by it. I've been around. I spent a little bit of time hopping to the Riviera from Art of Animation. Mm-hmm. That was fun. We weren't there for super long, but I have done that.
By the way, I just want to clarify too. Huge props and thanks to Craig for the Contemporary and Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Literally never thought I'd be a guest there.
And then I'll even throw way back here. My first time staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Thank you again, Alex from T-Chest. Yeah.
The only other new thing to me, I had never, over when I was in Animal Kingdom, I had never been up to Planet Watch, Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Oh, okay.
So that was fun. I'm not dying to go back, but I think it's a fun, switch up from...
It used to have more there.
Animal Kingdom.
If you go through the building, you can see all the sound booths. It used to have this whole wildlife sound experience that you get to do.
I pet a sheep.
Yep.
I did see some of the medical... Sheep happens. I saw a couple medical facilities. That was really cool. But other than that, I was like, I'm glad I saw it. Not really like itching to come back to that section just because Animal Kingdom is so criminally underrated as a whole to me.
No.
Had my new favorite quick service meal at Animal Kingdom.
Now, you do realize that sheep really stink.
Yeah.
I mean, really bad. It's why anytime
really bad.
You see, yeah, really bad. You see a flock of them, you can't help but go, ew.
Okay. Back to bouncing off the jokes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Keys to the Kingdom tour.
Oh my gosh. Best experience, best Disney experience of my life. It was worth every penny, even though there was an annual pass discount tied to that, which this was also my last trip for now as an annual pass holder. Just not gonna renew this year. So, worth every penny. This tour is for the park nerds. Like
the ones who always wanted to be a cast member but can't be, and want to really see behind the scenes. And you get over behind Tiana's adventure, so you get to see the trash compacting stuff, which I know. I
didn't hear any.
Okay, the parade barn.
Yep.
So you got to walk around the parade. Did they have the floats out there for you?
Yes, and they still had because it's January, they still had Christmas floats out.
Nice.
So that was super cool.
Yeah, plus the Christmas stuff will be there in between storage spots.
Saw performers going
and you can see the performers coming in and out.
I don't know how much to say, but...
the rides that we did when I did it were Jungle Cruise and Haunted Mansion.
Okay, I could tell that... I'm going to say once again, my tour guide's name was also Meagan. She was just the best, fantastic, amazing, perfect. We had definitely had plans... That's not true. The limit does not exist. We definitely had plans to do Jungle Cruise. The animals were still sleeping when we got to Adventureland, so we ended up doing Tiki Room and Haunted Mansion.
Oh, so they didn't have... So for Jungle Cruise, they've got certain tour guides that are certified for this early deal.
Oh, okay.
So if they didn't have the tour guides ready for that... then that's why you didn't get to go.
Well, that was definitely the plan, but I think it was I understood it as that the attraction was not ready to open to
so it may not have been signed
everybody.
off by maintenance. Because with the Jungle Cruise part, they actually take you through and they talk about how the animatronics work, point out certain things like the elephant under the waterfall that's kind of sitting up and everything.
We did talk about, like, when we were in our first backstage area, we did still get some of that information, and then we still got the Tiki Room version of the information.
So here's something I thought that was neat, and I had no idea until I did it. Now you can't unsee it. Is if that animatronic under the waterfall doesn't work, they have backups. There's 3 more of them out there, and they point them out to you on that cruise. And now you look and you see them every time. You go, oh yeah, there's backup 1, there's backup 2. You don't notice it though until you've been told.
Without spoiling, I saw that in a modified way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. So it's kind of neat with that. So, but yeah, you get the Tiki Room.
Yeah, that was really fun. I was already planning on doing Tiki Room that day as part of like my post-tour chill attractions afternoon, but then we ended up doing it, so that was really fun.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. And let's see,
I imagine there's some good behind the scenes stories there.
Yeah, it was really sweet, but you need to take the tour and find it out.
Yep.
We checked in, also backing up to like the very beginning, we did select our lunch ahead of time, which was Columbia Harbor House. Never eaten there. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
it's good.
So filling, so good. I did make 2 friends on the tour because I was not the only one there by myself. There was a shout out to Karana from Australia and Katya from Germany.
Oh, how cool.
So cool.
International.
We're all there. The girlies had the lunch table, all of us by ourselves. And then like by the time we got done with lunch, we had gotten to know each other a lot better too. And then Haunted Mansion came later and we were like, do we want to ride together? We're like, yes, of course. I have my on-ride photo from Haunted Mansion with a bestie there. So
you can see that in her vlogs, which we're working on. So she's going to be practicing all that.
Yes.
So Megan's first vlogs are coming up.
Ooh. I'll start on them.
And then Utilidors.
That delivered.
So you got to... So we talk about the smell. It's got a very unique smell.
It had a smell.
So,
but I just am super aware of smells.
But no, a lot of people are like, oh, it smells like trash.
No,
not exactly.
just smells like underground.
Yeah, it
Smells, it smells humid. I don't think it felt humid.
Yeah, it's just different.
Yeah.
Did you get to hear the trash clunking around?
No, we waited, but we were just never in the right place at the right time. But she pointed it out. And in not in lieu of that, but I was just taking a mental note because me and my dad, who is not George, we were talking about the miles and miles and miles of like data cables that I noticed. Crazy. We love stuff
Huge
like
amounts.
that.
Okay, so I just gotta throw this out there because there's always somebody who's gullible. Did you see any little kids down in the utilidors?
Sure didn't.
Did you see anybody tied up and being dragged away?
No.
I mean, okay.
No.
That's all I'm going to give that. That's just dumb.
We were all adults.
Yeah. People, watch who you listen to. Don't be dumb. If it's a conspiracy theory, it's not true. Okay.
Oh, this isn't a spoiler. This was just something that, if for some reason, is so very stuck in my head. We were definitely near down there. We were near some sort of, we had to have been close to like Casey's or something.
Okay.
And I saw this device that is clearly used for transporting food. I used to work food and beverage, so these are the things that I noticed. It was labeled, and I quote, the bread tram.
Oh,
it was amazing.
So there is a bakery down below, and that bakery does the bread rolls and buns and stuff for not just Casey's, but several places.
I saw a room.
And they've got different, I
saw a room.
You were up at the employee cafeteria. You got to see the big, huge entrance
Yes.
of it.
Yep.
Did you walk down the real long tunnel that slopes down?
Yes.
Okay, so
that was what I was in. Well, okay, compared to the beginning, that is what I was envisioning when I saw the utilidors, because it was the part where wheeled things can enter.
They're called pergos.
Okay.
I never really did figure out why they were called that, but
I don't know.
But that big long walkway, that's what I used to walk in every day, past the cafeteria, down that long walk.
Saw plenty.
Down at the very bottom of it, because it slopes down to get underneath the water. The very bottom is right directly under the castle.
Yep.
As you go to the walkway, there's another little elevated spot on the side. That's Cinderella Royal Table's kitchen. It's also where the photographers used to print pictures. And then there's an elevator and a stairway. We generally weren't allowed to use the elevator. So I worked CRT twice. Ran those stairs. Oh my gosh. Because you take pictures of people at the entrance, and then transmit the pictures down, and then you print them off, and then to deliver them, it's running upstairs, handing them the pictures at the table, running back downstairs, getting another batch of pictures, running upstairs.
Oh my gosh. Oh, would it be a spoiler to say where we entered and exited?
Nope.
We entered in this very, very unassuming door in the PhilharMagic gift shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a couple different places that they'll take you. There's one over in Adventureland that we went in. Yeah. There is another spot over in Fantasyland, right near Tomorrowland, that we came
downstairs.
out of.
It was. I would say I would do it again, but the oh my gosh, there was just so much information, and it was so good. I was absorbing it like a sponge.
It was fun because being a former cast member, I had to try to really tame myself in and not talk too much. And I know throughout some stuff when I know our poor tour guide was going, dude, shut up.
I feel like I was definitely the most active in answering the questions. We had a really good group, but I was like, okay, don't jump at the answer, even if you know it.
Well, I had to have been pretty good because I don't think I embarrassed Amber too much. When we did Keys to the Kingdom.
I liked that tour. Loved it.
Did I embarrass you?
I don't remember.
Okay, I must have been good if she doesn't remember.
Must have been good.
So, but yeah, she said she liked that tour. That's probably my favorite tour.
Yeah.
That, and then the if you can book it, and it's hard to get into, the Roundhouse tour, where they take you in before the park opens, and you get to go through all the trains and the monorails and see them prep and everything. And then you ride the train into the park.
Wow. I don't even know if... Well, when I was booking it, I, of course, went straight to Keys to the Kingdom page. So I don't know what
it's there.
offered.
It's very limited in how many people. It's smaller numbers than Keys to the Kingdom.
Yeah.
They only do one per day versus like 2 or 3 Keys to the Kingdom.
The Keys to the Kingdom time slots, I did the... just because I wanted to maximize my time especially not being a morning person, this is probably going to sound crazy. I did the 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
There was the 8:30, the 9, and the 9:30.
Yeah. Yeah, so they do multiple Keys to the Kingdom, but the Roundhouse, they can only do one.
Yeah.
So, and it's smaller numbers. So, yeah, it's harder to get into, but it's such a cool tour.
I might have to set a new bucket list item.
Yep. Okay, so anything else? New, notable?
Let's see, new?
That won't
was
be in the
it.
vlogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
New, that was everything.
So there's a whole bunch of review stuff for you. I know she's got a Disneyland trip coming up, and some other stuff. And look for the vlogs coming soon.
Yes.
So, and let us know if you got any questions for Meagan or me. We'd love to hear it. Share them in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for helping make this stuff happen. Thank you to my patrons, our patrons.
Yeah.
I gotta start rephrasing this now.
I gotta think about it too.
Our patrons.
Like, oh yeah.
And we so appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below. Or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.